Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome to Tennis Manager 25. It's here, it's out, it's from Rebound. Thank you for the key, Rebound. I'm so excited to bring this to you as the new yearly edition has just released today. Here on the channel, I love a good challenge, and our challenge for this series is going to be around a new feature in this edition of Tennis Manager, and that is regarding the Youth Academy. We're going to have a Youth Academy only challenge. But I'm also going to challenge you to hop on over to Blue Sky and follow me there, because later in the video I'll have some details on how you can win some keys for Tennis Manager 25. And in the meantime, you can help me out with my pitiful following over there, as I'm not much of a social media kind of person, even though here I am doing a form of social media. Go figure. Let's get into the challenge. Details on that later in the video. In past years, my challenge was to go to the extreme. Everything to the hardest setting possible, and then just grind it out and test the core of those mechanics and make sure they work. This year, we're going to focus more on the new feature, and therefore we're going to ease off just a little bit. We're going to start on difficult, but we're going to also still make sure that everything is pretty challenging for us along the way, but we don't want that hardcore grind that we've had in previous years, but we still want to make it pretty tough. So this year we're coupling the difficult and the easy. We're starting on an experience level of 1, but we are min-maxing our way to being useful as a manager in the right areas, in key areas, and then as we level up, we'll distribute attribute points elsewhere and become more well-rounded. And as always, we are going with the create our own academy and player path. And while I'm sticking with my start from 0, I am not starting with no cash like I normally do. We are going to start with some cash so we can invest that immediately and get off the ground. It's really the only couple of differences, a few subtle differences that ease off on the massive grind of the challenge, but still make it really tough along the way. In our second coming for Uni, this time around though, it's not going to be a legendary player. We are not going to rely on this one player to carry us through. We're going to rely on the development of our Youth Academy, which is going to take some additional time to make that all happen. But this time around then, we're going to make a talented player out of Uni. Still my favorite style. We're going to have an aggressive baseliner, left-handed, just some basic attributes. I'm not going to redistribute the points on this one. We'll keep it fairly balanced going in, but don't expect much from Uni this time around. And with our career set to begin, we're excited to get in on this one. Only the one product of our academy so far with Uni. Everything else will have to come through time and through that academy. Well, our academy starts dead last, quite some distance behind all the others. Our infrastructure and everything is at bare bones, so we've got it all to do ahead of us. At $1 million is a lot nicer than 10K, but it's not going to take us that far. As we're beginning with only one academy player who has limited potential, and we're limiting ourselves to youth products out of our own academy, our focus needs to be in 2 directions in the early seasons. 1, we're going to need to generate some revenue. We're going to need income so that we can reinvest and grow and develop. And 2, we need to reinvest specifically into the academy so we can get some better prospects coming out of there so that we can move up the rankings. So a few early targets could be things like paddle courts that will generate 9K a month, the Play & Co. connected courts that'll generate about the same, both for a very reasonable cost. That's about 100K there to generate an additional 18,000, but for anybody who's played the game before, that's not quite how the finances work, because there's also expenses that come with these new facility additions, and that offsets some of the money that you would otherwise be bringing in. Cold therapy room certainly looks like a nice one at nearly 30K additional, 48K for the Balneo therapy room. Definitely more expensive upgrades for us, but still within that $1 million range, where we can provide multiple upgrades and generate a fairly healthy income over time. Now, this new youth academy is tied into the youth and scouting center. Of course it is. Makes perfect sense there. But we are going to need to develop this area earlier than we would in past years of the game. And of course, the business center is one of those key ways to generate a healthy monthly income. I have 5 financial upgrades we want to go for immediately so we can generate a solid revenue stream so that we can actually invest in things long term, right? We need sustainability. So beginning with the balneotherapy, $208,000 for a $29,000 increase monthly. The recreational pool is also a very solid, easy upgrade. We're talking about $7,500 for just $35K. Back over in the medical center, the cold therapy room is a fairly affordable one with a healthy increase as well, though there is that $10K, so it's $18,500 increase. Next up, the Play and Co connected courts, $53,000 for a $6,500 increase. And then the paddle courts for a little bit less at $45,900 for $5,800 in increase. For the moment, that still leaves us with a very solid $530,000. Now, I'm not going to immediately invest that. That's half of our finances already spent, but I'd like to see what our balance is like here in, well, really a couple of months to see if we are turning a decent profit and can start to put some of this money into our youth facilities, or whether we're going to still need to generate more income to have a positive balance. Another reason not to spend that money is we hadn't gotten into what our goals are going to be for the season, and one of our key goals is to maintain a balance above 100,000, so we're going to have to work on that. Again, we already spent half of it, so it's going on pretty quickly. They do want us to recruit a player. I'm not sure how quickly we're going to be able to get into the youth recruitment phase of this thing, so we'll see what happens. But reaching level 1 in the medical center could happen pretty quickly, as we've already invested in 2 upgrades in that department. Our simple registration plan for now is to take the lowest level junior tournament and participate in one every 3 weeks, so we could train for 2, develop our skills a bit, and then go out and test our performance level. And until we start winning this level of tournament, we do not bump up to a higher level. Starting out bare bones, there's not much to focus on. However, because we min-maxed, we've got one area in particular where we are really strong and another area that we're pretty good. And our first level up will go into making it really strong as well. So tactical and mental training is maxed out already. Physical training is halfway there, actually more than halfway there, because you have 2 primaries and 1 secondary, and 2 of those 3 are maxed out, but it's a secondary. So movement is where we're going to need to make our first investment in development points. But that means technical training is going to go to the wayside here with Uni early on. We're going to need to focus on developing our tactical and mental side along with our physical side. We're going to get a sponsorship right away. That's going to help us out a little extra cash. We're going to need, the main thing is to participate in 20 tournaments over the course of the year. So we might need a little bit more than our 1 every 3 weeks to make that happen, but maybe only just. Really only just. The occasional second week tournament will get us there. And for a racket sponsorship, we're in the same boat. 20 tournaments will do it. Not sure if we're going to hit top 150 this year. Seems pretty unlikely for the bonus, but the rest of that should happen. By the way, the game has taken a real step forward with its AI generated images. However, the AI generated image is always based on the same physical profile and looks absolutely nothing like Uni, the character that we have created. The outfit is now tied to the sponsorship, so it doesn't match, but this is Uni. You could change the AI generated photo, but again and again, as you cycle through the AI generated options, it's still stuck on that profile. It's all good. Not a worry, but doesn't quite sync up. Even though our potential is not great, Uni is making some progress. Of course, when your attributes are so low, it doesn't take much. But Tactical got a huge boost. There's your working directly with somebody who's min-maxed and can at least give us some aid and assistance along the way here. But Focus Anticipation. So we're going to get good mental attributes here fairly quickly. And we should have fairly good physical attributes as well. So that is where Uni will shine. It's these other areas that are going to be rather depressing for quite some time. Here we go. Okay, we're getting into it. We have a new batch of young talents from our youth academy. Now, of course, we're still too early. We're only about 3 weeks in at this stage, so none of the upgrades that we started to work on have come through yet. However, as I mentioned, it's all financial upgrades anyway, so none of those would have impacted the Youth Academy. So this first batch, it's with Bare Bones Youth Academy, so I don't expect much from what we have. Let's head in. So with a Bare Bones Youth Academy rating, what we're looking at is 4 players maximum, so we only have 4 players in that academy, and we actually have 4 slots overall on the team with only 1 sign. So in theory we could sign 3 of them this next year if we wanted. So the way this all works is we've got players that are in that youth range that are going to come onto the junior circuit next year. So this is them generating a year earlier now and us being able to influence their development and potential maybe. I don't know, I'm not sure about the potential part, but I think that's possibly generated before we get to this phase. But what we're looking at is an average level, meaning their ratings right now. As we just saw with Uni, a lot of our ratings are in that 6, 7, 8 kind of range. This group, a year younger, comes through in the mid-4s kind of range. So not looking too great on their numbers. We have a couple early bloomers, and here is that minimum potential. So we do have 1 good player right now. That seems to be our top prospect. And as an aggressive baseliner, that also fits my play style on how I want to go. So we're going to set a mentor. I'm not sure we can. We can. Okay, we can have more than 1 mentor. These are our 2 highest rated as well. Okay, we're going to apply a little bit different direction on some of them and just see how it pans out over time. This is definitely going to be a big thing to keep an eye on, as this is the only way for us to bring new talent into the team with this challenge this year. Uni's first ever tournament, and we're ranked outside of the top 500. Our first opponent is ranked well above us, but I'd say we're probably lucky that it's not a seeded opponent for this tournament. Gives us at least a little bit of a chance. In theory, it should be a handful of tournaments before we are competitive. We'll see how we fare here early on. And it's our first tournament, small crowd on hand. Definitely not a big facility for this one, but we are indoors, or at least partially indoors, partially covered.
Time. First set. Fold. Second service.
And we are underway with our first points getting played, and we're going to start in the lead, though we are on the receiving end.
Fold. Second service.
For those unfamiliar, there's a lot of options in terms of speed at which you play and angles at which you use for cameras, as we're up early on, as our opponent is making a lot of mistakes here.
Game. First game.
Nice serve. Immediately with an ace.
Second
We're already up a game as well. Really great start to our career on this one. At least from the first handful of points, it looks like we could win this quite comfortably, but I'm sure that will change as play goes on.
Out. 30 love.
Well played there, and
Two
that.
games to love.
There's a new feature. There is a new feature that I absolutely adore because there are so many times where it's your eyes versus the game, and
Out.
you know,
Love.
my
15.
eyes aren't perfect. And so try to see whether a call
4
is in
second
or
service.
out.
Fold. Love. 30.
Like that, called out. That touched the line. We got lucky there. That should have been in. That should have been an ace. But love that new slow-mo replay camera that tells you accurately whether a call was correct or
Love.
not.
40. 4 second service. Fold. 3 games to love.
3 games already.
4 second service.
All right. So I prefer to have ball trajectory
30
and
all.
markings on recent
40.
placements.
30.
It's good visual for me. And
Game. 4 games to love.
I also like to play at 1.2 speed, so we'll go from there. As we
Love
already have a
15.
4-game lead, we are really, really strong compared. And what that comes down to, probably tactics. I mean,
Love. 30.
skill-wise, we're quite weak right now.
Second service.
But our opponent
4
is
love. 40.
playing aggressive and missing her marks because she doesn't have the accuracy. So you got to play within yourself
Game.
first and
5 games
foremost.
to love.
And looks like she just missed long. Yeah, there's an X on that outer mark.
15
Oof.
love.
That did hit. That did hit the line just about. Oh, great placement. Literally doesn't get any more perfect than that because it is on the corner,
4 second service.
catching both lines perfectly.
40 love.
And 40 love up here on the
Four,
verge of
second
taking
service.
our first set.
40 15. 4 second service. Game and first set. Second set.
Well, with one set in the books,
15
and
love.
regardless of outcome, it really does not matter for us at this stage,
second
whether
set.
we are winning or losing. This is not going to be our
30 love.
primary source of income. It's one junior player. The grand prize, the pool is only 1K.
Out.
There's not much money to be
30,
had
15.
from participation in these low level tournaments. So
30 all.
Uni, who has limited potential, is only going to carry us so far.
Second
So
service.
we're really going to breeze through
Out.
some of this
30,
early
40.
seasons play until we can grow and develop
Juice.
the youth academy portion, so we can generate some players, develop some players into the academy and sign them
Advantage.
and take them forward instead of Uni. So with that in mind, you might be asking yourself, how do I get a key for Tennis Manager 25 so I can play it myself? As we sky that one way up high. Way up high. That was a
Second
pretty
set.
bad miss hit.
Game. First game. 4
Down a
second
game
set.
early in
4
this second
love,
set.
15.
It's not all roses right now. We're going to have to get ourselves on the go, but good service there. Aggressive.
Love 30.
Easy point, but missed it. Expected for a young
Out. 15
developing
30.
player. But how you can win a key. So I'm not very active over there.
Out.
I'm going to work
30
on that.
all.
But it's a great way for me to get some additional followers. Head on over to
30,
Blue Sky
40.
at Decathlon Gamer. Follow the channel. There's going to be a post that you'll find there regarding this, and I have 2
Advantage.
keys to give away. Now, the deadline to respond to the post is going to be when episode 2 releases. Episode 1 is coming out day of. Episode 2 will come out the day after, so tomorrow. Episode 3 the day following. I will give away that key at the beginning of episode number 3. And we'll have another one to follow that as well, I think, with episode number 5. Already down 2 games this set. Oh, this match is far from over. There's an ace on that one. Nice serve there, and it looked like we were about to get a game back. But not yet. We're down. Our opponent seems to have gone for a more reserved approach here in this second set, and the adjustment is working really well. And they seem to be a little bit more talented than we are. And it's showing through. We're down 3 games already. Rallies are more prolonged. We're coming out on the weaker side of things. Down love 40 with serve.
Second set. 15.
Better, but it's still going to be hard to come back in this game. Miss hit there gives us a real chance into the net. It's deuce, battling back. We're really going to have to win this game if we're going to have any chance in this set.
Advantage.
Nice one there. It's a good winner. That's advantage.
Deuce.
But we hit it right down the middle without any sort of power, and so
second set.
she was able to just slam it back past us.
Advantage.
Oof. Big error there. And we're behind. Once again on the verge of giving it away. That's in. Ooh, we reached it at least. And stay alive.
Second set.
Just wide. That one's in on the front foot. That's a winner. There we go. Finally we get one and give ourselves at least a shot in this set. Nice winner there too. Wasn't a bad serve either. Ooh, did that catch? It just catches the line. Great start to this game. We'll have service again too, so if we can break her here, we'll have a chance to draw level. Love 40.
Second set.
That's going to be her point. Yeah. She attacked the net, and we hit it straight to her. Good serve. Well done handling it. Found the space. And we're back. 3 games to 2.
Love 15.
But another weak serve as we start the 6th game of the second set. That's another mistake. Oof. More animations on frustration. There we go. Oh, how did she reach that? How in the world did she reach that?
Second set.
It double bounced before she hit it. Okay.
Out. 40-30.
So it took a second bounce before she hit it. That's how we got that point. I was very confused. So we're at deuce here. All level.
Out. Advantage.
Oof. Lucky she missed that because there was no way we were going to reach it. Just a point away from getting back into this thing after being down 3 games to nothing. It's 3-all.
Love 15.
Obviously, we have the momentum right now, and we are not in a desperation mode where we have to win this game any longer, like we were when we were down 3 games love. But obviously, to carry that momentum on, if we're going to go forward and win the set, it would be nice to take one here. Love how we're getting a little bit of momentum swings back and forth. Not just one player constantly in control. Things change.
Deuce.
And Bashur is on top at the moment. Oof. Didn't think we were going to even get that return in, but we do.
Deuce.
And that's out. Oh, no. It was in. It was in, and our opponent was right there. Miscalculated whether it was going to be in or not. But she's back on top after that one. We lunge. Can't quite get it under control.
Deuce.
And then she can't get that net play under control. Back to deuce.
Advantage.
Can't reach that one.
Second service. Game. 4 games to 3.
And we do lose that game in the end, but
Second
we
service.
certainly gave her a good fight.
Love 15.
Disappointing we can't reach that one.
Fault.
That was a
Second
pretty
service.
reachable
Fault.
ball.
Love 13.
Ooh. See, from here, that looks like that would have been in. But without the replay to show, apparently it was the correct call.
Love 40.
Good play from the opponent there. We didn't quite get enough juice on that ball to push it past her. And then she was able to get plenty of power on her return one. 15-40.
Fault.
Were we that far down already? Oh,
5
and
games to 3.
another mistake there. And we're down 5 games 3. And now it's
Out.
1 game away
Love
from the
15.
set for our opponent. So we do all that work to battle back and then just give it right back to her.
15-0.
Let's go ahead and speed things up, though, here. If we get back in, great. If not, we're going to have to play a third set.
15-40.
Break point, though, will certainly help us in that process of getting back in. 5 games 4 now.
Second service.
But
Fault.
what has
Love
happened to our
15.
service? It's gotten weak
Fault.
suddenly.
Second service.
That's our third
Fault.
double
Love
fault. 4th
13.
double fault in just 2
Second
service
service.
games. Staying alive, but only just. It is set point. 2 draw level. And we do.
5 games.
5 games all.
15 love.
Ooh, that did catch a line.
Out. 30-40.
And it's break point. But not match point. 6 won't do it when it's 5 all.
Out. Deuce.
And there's the game. 6 games 5.
Fault. Second service. Out. 15 love.
So now we can either win by 2, which would win the set and the match, or
30 love.
if she draws level, we go to a tiebreaker. Nice serve there. Sets us up well, but we don't go out to the side. There we
40
go.
love.
40 love. It's match point.
Fault. Second service.
And that's going to miss. It does. There we go. Hey, we got a winner. Well done there. Second set, very different than the first set. Much closer contest. But well played by Uni. She claims her first ever youth victory. But it's only the first round. And with the seeded opponent knocked out in the first round, we've got an easier second round matchup than we would have otherwise. But we're not going to show this one live. Let's see what Uni does with the remainder of this first tournament. And Uni squeezes this one out, 7-5, 6-4. She'll be into the third round. Only 2 double faults this time. That's very different than that first match. That sets up a quarterfinal match against the 393rd ranked Coleman. And that is where our tournament will end. So 2 victories out of 3 matches at the lowest of low levels. Not a bad start at all for Uni. Looking pretty decent. And that was pretty competitive. We did take a set and we only ended up losing 53%. I mean, she won 47% of the points. So pretty competitive throughout the day. And you can see a lot of double faults for both players. No surprises as we are dealing with some young teenagers on this one who are very much still developing their game. So Uni's got a long ways to go to be competitive, but at least for the lowest level, not too bad. Not too bad at all. That is going to do it for this very first episode. Here's the thing, folks. The algorithm is really important. I still have a fairly small channel. We're at a little over 9K at the time of recording this one. So I could really use your help with the algorithm. The YouTube algorithm is quite cruel to small channels. If you could, leave a like and leave a comment below. And do head on over to Blue Sky at Decathlon Gamer for the chance to win yourself a key for Tennis Manager 25. This is going to be a long play series. I'm really looking forward to this one. Yes, we will breeze through the first few seasons as we grow and develop the Academy, but it's going to take us quite a while to develop a champion in-house. At least I think it will. Thanks for being here. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.